Can mismatched sexual libido end a relationship? Wow, this sounds interesting. Let's listen along and drop your thoughts in the comment section.
Sexual intimacy isn't just about pleasure. It's about emotional closeness, mutual desire, vulnerability, and a partner's sense of being wanted, seen, and affirmed. When that dynamic is thrown off by mismatched libidos, even the most loving relationships can begin to crack in quiet, painful ways. What starts as a small, uncomfortable difference in how often one partner wants sex versus the other can spiral into emotional disconnection, rejection, self-doubt, and long-term resentment. Can mismatched sexual libidos end a relationship? This issue doesn't always arrive in dramatic fashion. Sometimes it creeps in. One partner starts pulling away after long work hours or because of parenting exhaustion. The other initiates and is turned down once, twice, until rejection becomes the norm. And with each rejection, the unspoken becomes louder. Maybe you don't want me anymore. Am I not attractive enough for you? Why does it feel like I'm begging for love? The bedroom turns into a battleground full of silence, misunderstandings, or blame. And sadly, many couples suffer in that space for years. For the partner with a higher libido, the lack of physical intimacy can feel like abandonment, not just sexually, but emotionally. They may start to believe their partner doesn't care, that their needs don't matter. Some try to mask the hurt with anger or distance. Others seek intimacy elsewhere through fantasies, pornography, or even affairs. Not because they are immoral, but because they are starving for touch, validation, and connection. The partner with a lower libido, on the other hand, often feels overwhelmed by expectations. They may feel inadequate, anxious, or guilty. They are not broken, they're simply tired, stressed, or perhaps emotionally unwell in ways they haven't fully unpacked. But shame becomes to build. They avoid being alone together. They flinch at touch because they fear where it might lead. And slowly what was once tender becomes tense. It's not about who is right or wrong. It's about navigating different emotional maps. One partner may see sex as closeness, while the other may see it as pressure. One feels undesired and then the other feels unseen. And because our culture often treats libido as taboo, most couples don't know how to name the problem. So what they do, they bury it, hoping it will fix itself. But it doesn't. Silence only deepens the divide, and the damage isn't limited to the bedroom. Emotional withdrawal spreads like ink through the entire relationship. Patience wears thin, affection fades, arguments escalate over seemingly unrelated topics. One might complain about dishes left in the sink, but underneath it's really about feeling unwanted. Or one partner may shut down during conversations, not from disinterest, but because they're emotionally depleted from navigating intimacy. Now, some couples survive mismatched libidos, but only those who talk, not just about how often they want sex, but what sex means to them, what makes them feel safe, and what initiates their desire, what causes it to shut down. This kind of vulnerable, awkward honesty isn't easy. It requires both people to show up without shame or judgment. Libido is not static, it evolves. Hormones shift, trauma lingers, stress spikes, and parenthood drains. Aging slows us down. Medication dulls desire, and at times life simply gets in the way. It's important to remember that wanting less sex doesn't mean loving your partner less, and wanting more doesn't mean being shallow. Desire is not morality, it's emotional rhythm, and it takes ongoing communication to stay in tune. Some couples find creative solutions, scheduled intimacy, non-sexual touch rituals, open communication about fantasies or needs. Others seek sex therapy or couples counseling. A few explore non-monogamy, though that is not the right solution for everyone. The point isn't which method you choose, it's choosing to face the issue together instead of suffering apart. But let's not romanticize it. Yes, mismatched libidos can end relationships. When one couple feels perpetually rejected and the other feels perpetually pressured, love gets replaced by bitterness. They begin to live parallel lives under the same roof. Intimacy becomes a chore. Resentment builds walls that no amount of compromise can tear down. And when the emotional connection dies, the physical relationship often becomes the final casualty. And yet, this isn't a death sentence. Many couples grow stronger by facing this challenge head on. They stop expecting perfection. They start redefining what intimacy means. They learn that emotional foreplay starts outside the bedroom through empathy, conversations, acts of service, and trust. They create a space where desire can breathe, where one doesn't feel like a burden for wanting and the other doesn't feel broken for not always feeling ready. We also need to unlearn the idea that our partner must fulfill all our sexual needs. That belief creates an unhealthy dependency. True intimacy means being able to express needs without demand and being heard and being heard without guilt. It means checking in regularly, not just when things feel broken. It means asking, how can I love you better right now, instead of accusing, why aren't you giving me what I need? The couples who last understand this, they're not trying to win, you are trying to connect. And this isn't about forcing someone into sex or punishing someone for desiring less. It's about recognizing each other's humanity, vulnerability, and emotional patterns. When both partners feel safe to speak and be heard, a path forward emerges, even if it's bumpy. This topic especially matters for long-term relationships because sex changes, and life changes, and love must adapt. What bonded you at 25 might not work at 45. Couples that thrive are those that evolve, who keep talking, touching, and trying. They stay curious about each other, who don't take rejection personally and don't use desire as a weapon. To the partner with a higher libido, your desire is not a flaw. Your longing for intimacy is valid, but be careful not to let rejection turn to resentment. Your partner is not your enemy. To the partner with the lower libido, your limits matters. You are not less loving for needing space or slower rhythms. But don't hide and don't pretend everything is fine. The bravest thing you can do is speak, honestly, gently, and consistently. Sex is never just about sex. It's about communication, it's about closeness, it's about vulnerability and trust. So yes, mismatched libidos can end a relationship, but they can also be the spark for transformation, for better communication, for deeper understanding, for new ways to love that aren't limited to how often you are in bed, but how fully you're showing up as a partner. Let's build relationships where physical connection doesn't feel like pressure and emotional connection doesn't get starved by silence. Let's unlearn shame and practice truth. Let's stop pretending couples with great sex lives never struggle. Most do, but the ones who keep showing up, keep talking, and keep loving, those are the ones who write new endings. And don't forget to follow us across all social media platforms for more unapologetic explorations of love, intimacy, vulnerability, and what it truly takes to thrive in the modern relationship. We've got another powerful and soul-stirring topic waiting in the next episode. I am Faith. Bye for now.
That was so interesting. And thanks for watching with me till the end.